Hello guys and welcome to my new video, and today we're talking about Diablo Immortal, my review, my summary of what the game is about. 3 or 4 years ago, I actually made a reaction video to when Diablo Immortal was first announced, and it's one of my most viewed videos, and I was surprised by how many people were able to kind of connect with my initial reaction in terms of, I don't want another mobile game, I don't like the mobile game market, it is infested with practices, or specifically predatory monetization practices, that are really unsavory, and mobile market is filled with these type of games, and I had a lot of doubts. Now, fast forward 3-4 years, the game is here. Diablo Immortal is playable. I had no high expectations. I didn't really know whether it's going to be good or bad. I just wanted to try it out because it did have Blizzard's name. And believe it or not, Blizzard still makes good games. There's a reason why they're one of the biggest development companies in the world out there. I expected Blizzard quality. And honestly, I'm gonna say something that a lot of people are going to either disagree, like hard disagree, but I think Diablo Immortal is an absolutely fantastic game. I played this on the Windows PC port. Now, the Windows PC port is missing a couple of things in terms of how you interact with certain items. The HD wallpapers are all over the place. It is still a good port, but it could be improved. I played it on a mobile. I played it on my iOS device while I'm in bed, and honestly, when I consider this as a mobile game, it is absolutely fantastic. It is honestly probably one of the best mobile games that I have played, if you disregard the cash shop. So I've been playing a lot of different classes. I've been trying out my Necromancer, I've been trying out my Demon Hunter, and honestly the leveling process is really interesting. It's really fun. The gameplay, the development team did a really fantastic job. I think the gameplay is fun, there's plenty of content to do. Sometimes you might be like, I'm playing Diablo 3 here, and I would actually say it's more Diablo 3 plus Lost Ark, and there's no reason for other games to not copy certain aspects of Lost Ark. It's a good thing. Lost Ark does a lot of good things out there, like for example, Diablo 3, or Diablo Immortal in this case, has raids, 8-man raids, and all of a sudden you might be like, oh, that's pretty cool. The first boss might not be fantastic in terms of the gameplay, in terms of the mechanics, but this is something that they can build upon in the future. They can add new content, they can add new raids, and besides doing the 5-man Elder Rifts, you can try out and do raids with your team, and honestly, feels like a nice bit of variety that is much needed in Diablo type games. So while I was leveling, I was having a lot of fun. I did look at the cash shop, I did look at some of the incentives that they have, and honestly during the leveling process it's not that bad. Don't get me wrong, they get pop-ups and things like that, but I'll talk about it. So first of all, I did end up looking at the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass is basically what a lot of companies use for free-to-play games. You have to remember, this is a free-to-play game. You don't have to pay anything at the start. As a free-to-play player, you can look at the very top. Every time you rank up, you're gonna unlock something like crests, some health, some currency that's gonna make you stronger and better in the game. Now, if you pay €5, you're going to unlock a specific version of this Battle Pass. So every time you're going to level up, not only are you going to get the free version of the items, but you're also going to get some other items. And all of a sudden, that felt like a pretty good value for money. I felt like I'm going to invest a certain amount of time in this game. My time is valuable, and I want to get certain, or how do I say it? I want to take advantage of some of the items that they provide and end up buying the Battle Pass. This is relevant for a lot of free-to-play games. A lot of free-to-play games do it. So throughout leveling, and once you get your end game, once you reach level 6 and things like that, Elder Rifts are going to be a big part of your game. And this is basically a mindless 5-player if you want to find a group, but mainly 5-player kind of dungeon type levels, which is, you know, killing mobs, trying to do it in time, and getting additional items. So this is what you usually get. You usually get chance of mystery, legendary XP, and fading embers. And this is okay, but then you'll notice that you can add certain crests, and you have rare crests and legendary crests. And these things improve the loot at the end of this Elder Rift. So if you add a rare crest, all of a sudden you're getting specific items that are gonna help you to build your legendary gems, and legendary gems are big. They're tied into your character progression, and you need legendary gems. Even if you get duplicate legend gems, you can use them to upgrade your legendary gems. So you really want this. And that is only the rare crest. Now, if you add a legendary crest, all of a sudden you get a guaranteed legendary gem drop. And these legendary crests are somewhat rare. At the start of the game, Blizzard will give you one for free at the start. It's like almost like a crack dealer giving you a free sample, and you're like, okay, that's pretty cool, I'll take it. And then you're gonna do an Elder Rift with the legendary crests, and you're like, whoa, I'm getting all of this awesome loot to drop. But then you realize you don't have any more legendary crests, you don't have any more rare crests, and you're doing these Elder Rifts over and over again, and honestly your progression is really stifled. You feel like you're not going anywhere. You feel like you need these crests in order to actually progress your character, and then you realize those crests are going to cost you money. At the start of the leveling process, you might be like, it's not worth it, I don't need that. I'm not gonna spend €1 or €2 in order to improve my loot. But once you get to the end game, this kind of it kicks up a notch, and all of a sudden you feel like you have to do that in order to actually keep up. Paragon levels are really hard to grind. A lot of the grinding in this game is ridiculously long if you don't actually invest some of the money, which some people might like, some people not. In my opinion, this is almost getting you hooked to these kind of microtransactions. So you don't really feel it during the leveling that much, but the end game feels atrociously bad in terms of pushing you towards these legendary crests, which are very hard to get if you are a free-to-play player. Now, there is a hilt trader in the city, and you can notice him here, and you can get hilts multiple different ways. You can see there's a lot of different aspects of Diablo Immortal that are taken from Lost Ark. Like, for example, if you go to your codex, you'll notice these achievement type of things. These are very similar to Lost Ark, and if you do some of these, you're gonna get hilts. If you do some of the item level upgrades and things like that, you're gonna get hilts. There's a lot of different ways of getting hilts that you can use to purchase certain really cool items. And you can purchase a legendary crest. This is free to play, you don't actually have to buy anything in this, but you can only get a monthly purchase limit of 1, and you have to pay quite a bit of hilts for it. So like I mentioned, there are ways of progressing your character without having to spend any money, but a lot of this game is pushing you towards going to that cash shop, spending that gold, or not gold, money, and you can see all of these little ways, psychological ways of trying to get you to buy these packs. 800% extra value, wow, this is great. If you're playing this game 8 hours a day and you're completely hooked, and I'm that type of person who gets hooked on a game, probably after a certain time I'll be like, okay, maybe this is worth it, I'm spending so much time doing this. And you can really fall into these traps depending on how addictive you are to certain games. And I am a person who plays games a lot, so I can see how people, oh, I got my free daily reward here, okay, let's pick that up. I need to log in the next day to get my second daily reward, my third daily reward. This is not new. This is evident in so many different games. I'm bashing Blizzard here, but Blizzard, it's really cool to shit on Blizzard at the moment. Everyone is making fun of Blizzard. I still believe Blizzard has, for the last year or so, really tried to improve their image, because they went through a big, I don't want to go through the history of Blizzard in the last 2 years or something in terms of what happened, but they tried to improve their working conditions, they tried to appeal or try to introduce features that players wanted. Like, for example, if you play World of Warcraft right now, in the last 6 months, they've done, in my opinion, a really good job of making World of Warcraft a better game for new players and the veteran players. For example, the latest feature, which is the cross-faction play between Horde and Alliance. I wasn't completely sure if they were ever going to introduce that, but they did because the community wanted it, and now the world in World of Warcraft feels a lot more full. There has been some really good features introduced in World of Warcraft by Blizzard in order to make, or how to say, improve their community perception, improve their image, and to be viewed as a company that include features that players want. But with the release of Diablo Immortal, just think of it. If you're a World of Warcraft player like myself, imagine doing a Mythic Plus dungeon, and at the end of the dungeon, you might not actually get any loot. If you played Mythic Plus, you know that you might do a 30-minute dungeon without getting any piece of loot whatsoever, and you might feel a little bit like, oh man, I'm gonna try again. What if, and this is Mr. GM's Twitter post, it summarizes everything so well, what if at the end of the dungeon, you open your weekly chest, or you open the chest of the dungeon, and you have an option of, hey, pay €1 and you get a guaranteed piece of drop, and you might actually get certain pieces that you cannot get elsewhere, and you can use those certain materials to upgrade your legendaries and upgrade your character further. Just pay that €1 and you're going to get so much more value. That is what in essence Diablo Immortal is doing right now. But then you might be like, hey MadSkillz, World of Warcraft is literally a paid game. You have to pay for the expansion, you have to pay for the base game, you have to pay for the monthly subscription. You cannot compare a game like that to Diablo Immortal, which is a free-to-play game. And this is where I'm going to say that Diablo Immortal could have been a 9, 10 out of 10 game, especially when considering it was a mobile game, if they only had something like the Battle Pass. Don't get me wrong, I know free-to-play games have to make money, these corporations have to recoup their losses in terms of development, and a lot of the companies out there would approach the Battle Pass system. The Battle Pass system is something that lasts a month, you have to pay for it once a month if you want to, you get additional items, and then why not have certain cosmetics in the game? I know a lot of people, if they invest 8 hours or 9 hours per day into this game, they probably will invest some of that money into cosmetics, and all of a sudden this game would probably be very, how do I say, profitable without upsetting a lot of the people. But Blizzard decided to go a whole other route. They decided to throw away all the goodwill that they have achieved in the last 6 to 1 year in terms of trying to improve their image, improving workplace, improving their games by adding features that people want. But instead, Blizzard took this golden nugget, and it is a golden nugget. The gameplay, the classes, the different items, honestly, the performance, it actually looks insanely good on a mobile device. It's something that you can play while going to bed, which I've been doing for the last couple of days. This is a golden nugget that they covered with a layer of shit that is the predatory monetization, psychological tricks that they introduced, the fact that the whole game is almost based around the fact that you're pushed, almost forced to pay money. I'm not going to say forced because you can do whatever you want with your money, you can spend it how you like, but the game does everything it can to push you towards, hey, let's get that legendary crest, let's upgrade your legendary gems, because the progression in this game is extremely long. So Blizzard really, and this is why I named this video Wasted Potential. This could have been a huge win for Blizzard. This game is honestly 9-10 out of 10 in terms of my eyes, in terms of the fact that it's a mobile game. It looks so nice, the graphics are good, the gameplay, everything is so good, except they decided to be extremely greedy with monetization, and I think it's too late. I think even if Blizzard would listen to everyone's feedback, you can look at Metacritic ratings and things like that, people are hating the fact that they wrap this layer of poop around this golden nugget, and it's constantly stinking when you're playing this game, because you're reminded of the fact that you'll never beat the end game without putting in thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And this is something that I actually expect from majority of mobile gaming companies out there, because mobile market is filled with these predatory type of systems out there. It's filled. Did I expect this? Or did I expect Blizzard to place their name across the board and ship the game the way that it is right now? No. I still felt Blizzard would not do such thing or so blatantly include these cash shops into this game, because it had so much potential. I hope that Blizzard can really learn from this, because I think the community has been very loud. The fact is that they probably don't mind being the bad guy. They don't mind being hated, because they're probably rolling in cash. They're rolling in cash from the 30 million pre-subscribers to this game, the amount of players that have been playing this. Most of the people who are outspoken, who are saying bad things, there is probably 1 to 10 ratio of players who are actually buying this. So keep that in mind, guys. I don't want to be too negative, because I still feel Blizzard, they did a lot of good things in the last 6 months, especially for World of Warcraft. They shipped out this game, which was a really bad idea in my opinion, but I still hope there's going to be better games. I still hope the expansion or the latest World of Warcraft expansion is going to be something that Blizzard listens to the community, because I still have hope. I'm an endless optimist, but they really missed the mark on this. A lot of wasted potential.